Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got the Niners in the Super Bowl, news on the next reimagined Air Jordan, how Snoop Dogg beat Kanye to Skechers, the week's best releases, and of course, we have our Hard Pass. All right, let's start with some hot takes. According to Sneaker News, the reimagined black toe Air Jordan 1 will not come with pre-aged details like yellowed midsoles or simulated cracking on the collar, nor will the materials be remixed like the reimagined Royals, which you can still buy everywhere sneakers are sold. No, the reimagined black toe 1's gimmick will be a callback to one of the first photo shoots Michael Jordan ever did with the Jordan 1. As you can see in these photos, the Wings logo still had not made their way to the shoes themselves. Instead, you can see that they just spelled out Air Jordan. If that is the case, the reimagined black toes will be following in the footsteps of the rare Air Jordan 1s that came out several years ago, although those came in non-OG colorways. It would be interesting to see if this becomes another reimagined Royal 1 that sits in stores or it's sought after like the Lost and Found Chicago 1s. If you ask me, I just want them to try again with the packaging because the Lost and Found boxes were cool and inspired. Speaking of packaging that's cool and inspired, check out this Nike pillow that's only available to shoppers in Hong Kong. It's a regular Nike shoebox, but it's shaped like a swoosh because, get it? Okay, never mind. Maybe it's just me. Anyways, it's not just as simple as buying them off the shelf, though. You have to be a Nike member with a Nike birthday card and spend enough at the store to earn the right to buy the pillow. I have so many questions. Like, one, aren't we all Nike members if we've bought something from them online at this point? Two, where's my Nike birthday card? And three, do these pillows come with temperature control and memory foam? Because if they don't, I could just go to the nearest mall and buy these swoosh pillows along with bootleg Yeezy bunny slippers and t-shirts where Goku is wearing a Pyrex Vision hoodie like it's 2012. I'm just saying, I need the answers. So, this week, I learned that some skaters microwave their shoes because it helps break them in faster. You know what also helps to break in shoes? Skating in them. Take it from me, Jacques Slade, pro skater. Oh, did you know that was the working title before they changed it to Tony Hawk Pro Skater? True story. Don't look it up. Just trust me. If you're wondering what the future of $500 sneaker mystery boxes are going to be, look no further than Stanley Cups. That's right. Once the mommy bloggers move on to their next obsession, these tumblers are going to be stuffed in those boxes with yellow ochre ones and bootleg Supreme stickers. Oh, the look of those parents who paid for those kids to open those boxes only to get a teal Stanley Cup is going to be glorious and hilarious at the same time. Salehi Bembury and founder of Concept Kicks Daniel Bailey were asked by Hypebeast what sneakers will trend in 2024. The response was, whoever finds that wave, because we're in a time period where everybody is just following the next thing. Yeah, kind of feels like we've been in that time period since the beginning of time. It's just exhausting trying to prove that you're creative and doing your own thing. Sometimes people just want to put on some Tech Fleece and Jordan 4s and play Tekken 8 with the homies all day. Wait, what? Sorry, what was I talking about? Right. Hypebeast. They also asked yours truly what sneakers I think will trend in 2024, so check that out over on their socials. On the All the Smoke podcast, Snoop Dogg revealed the story of how he signed with Skechers instead of pursuing a deal with Jordan Brand. It started, as all things do, with Martha Stewart. Martha encouraged Snoop to sign with the brand because he could occupy a lane that wasn't being covered. There's a million things I could say about what that implies, but whatever. Snoop also says that he kind of figured that he would never get a Jordan deal because he might overlap with others who were already signed there. But the most interesting part of that story was how he beat Kanye to the punch.
As soon as I go to holler at him, a week later, my nephew go up there unannounced after he get drizzled out from Adidas, and they like, what should we do? I'm like, what y'all calling me for? I said, y'all in office? They said, no. I said, well, act like y'all ain't in office. And they couldn't give him the play because he ran over there trying to get the play, but I had already beat him to it. Y'all reading between the lines. Y'all know what
already.
Trying to go get the play, but the boss had already met the DOW.
Too late.
I met the dog, man.
Yeah. Seemed like Skechers made the right move with that one. No way I could see them selling those Yeezy pods, Snoop basketball shoes. No problem. And speaking of selling Yeezys, Adidas is back with Yeezys. Yay? Not yay as in Kanye, but as in yay, we get to do this all over again. Look, maybe Kanye didn't jump over the jump man, but he certainly jumped over the P&L. That's a financial. Anyway, all right. So Travis Scott has a new movie coming out, and it was shot entirely in infrared. Yeah, that's definitely a thing they did. Prayers up to the poor intern at Nice Kicks and Complex Sneakers who's going to have to screenshot the sneakers Travis wears in this movie and decipher what they are, because you know he's going to be wearing some never-before-seen Cactus Jack Jordan 3s or whatever. Shout out to the friend of the program, Nightwing. We talked about the Nike SB Ashad 2 last week and on the Heat Check, and mentioned that they were inspired by classic Air Maxes and hoop shoes. That was not the case, as Chris reached out to someone on the design team and they said that the Ashad 2 was inspired by the Nike Air Flare, another classic from 90s Nike, but it was a tennis shoe that was worn by Andre Agassi. The more you know, people. This is where, like, the rainbow. Anyway. And so our pick of the week, it's the Air Jordan 4 Reimagined Bread. This is a sneakers shock drop, heavy on the quotes. So look, every outlet is saying that a shock drop is on the way, but can't give the specific day. So we're just going to put this here and say it's our pick of the week because, look, why not? The Air Jordan 4 Reimagined Bread is a new take on the iconic sneaker and colorway. On the feet of Michael Jordan during his legendary game and series-winning shot against the Cleveland Cavaliers in 1989, this remix swaps out the nubuck upper with a leather finish. While black leather is not a new look for the Jordan 4, it is the first time that it will be used on the playoff colorway, and personally, I like it. In honor of Damian Lillard's return to Portland, Adidas has named the basketball court in their headquarters the Always Home Court. Not sure why it couldn't be called Dame Time Court, but sure, people will forever associate the floor with Lillard. According to Nice Kicks, it's the first time they have named a location in their HQ to an athlete. And I'm sure when Dame took the court against the Blazers, the reception was awesome until he hit a dagger three-pointer. Then they boo him like he's just another guy on a different team. An all-time great returns to a team in a city he didn't win a championship for, and it's all love. Interesting. When you hear others tell that story, the team is bitter and petty and wants to erase their legacy. Maybe if the team and the city feels that the player did do all that they could, even if they didn't win a ring, it's okay, no hard feelings. That might have something to do with it. I don't know. I'm just putting this out there, not really directing that towards anybody specific or anything like that. So here's Rory McIlroy when asked about former PGA Tour players who left LIV and want to come back. He said, "I think it's hard to punish people, and I don't think there should be punishment. Obviously, I've changed my tune on that because I see where golf is, and I see that having a diminished PGA Tour and having a diminished LIV Tour or anything else is bad for both parties." Well, that's quite the turn from Rory's previous comments and takes over the past 18 months. But also, Rory said this after he stepped down from his position as a member of the PGA Tour Board, who was part of the negotiations in regards to a PGA-LIV merger. "I just don't feel like I could influence things the way I wanted to, and I felt like I was just banging my head against the wall, and it was time for me to step off and kind of concentrate on my own stuff. And I feel like this thing could have been over and done with months ago. I think just for all our sakes that the sooner that we sort of get out of it and we have a path forward, the better." Yeah, sounds like a guy who's done all he could, saw the writing on the wall, and is honestly just over it. And you know what? Same, Rory, same. I feel the same way every time co-writer wants to pitch a podcast. Like, I have to give in at some point, right?
Let's go!
He's in the room, if you guys can't tell. Well, the WWE certainly had an eventful weekend. Is that the correct word? My predictions for the Royal Rumble, they were wrong. Went up in smoke. Maybe just say they went up in smoke. CM Punk got injured again and won't be sniffing a WrestleMania main event until 2025 at the earliest. And the man who has been credited with taking this Carney show to billion-dollar heights is accused of sex trafficking with details that are so vile and disgusting that he quit on the spot after Slim Jim said they were pulling their advertising. Who knew that a meat stick would be the thing that would rid the industry of that guy? Yeah. Anyway, fun premium live event. Overall, terrible look for the company. Let's just hope that whatever cleanup job that Endeavor does to WWE will actually lead to change. As for what all the shakeups mean for WrestleMania, it sure looks like they're hedging their bets by throwing a few wrenches into the lead up. The way it's looking, it all hinges on The Rock. I would say it's a sure thing that he's going to face Roman Reigns. It's just a matter of whether it's at WrestleMania this year, next year, or whatever big ass event they've got planned to launch their Netflix deal. If I had to guess, this is a guess, it's the Netflix launch. So it's going to be Cody Roman 2 to close out Mania Sunday, with The Rock preventing any outside interference. Cody wins and Rocky calls out Roman the following night on Raw to begin the build-up to a one-match cinematic live event on an island in Samoa, exclusively on Netflix in January 2025. That's the kind of obnoxiously extra type of event that could drag The Rock back into the ring, and we're all for it. But never forget, this is all because Black Adam tanked. And now, the Super Bowl. Instead of having flashbacks to 2013 for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to have flashbacks to 2020 for the next 2 weeks. You know that Super Bowl, the one where the San Francisco 49ers were leading by 10 points going into the fourth quarter and were on their way to winning their first championship since 1995, several years before I was born. I wasn't born yet. I wasn't. You also probably know how it ended. Chiefs scored 21 unanswered points, Niners forgot how to play football, and Patrick Mahomes' ascent to Pantheon-level greatness begins. 4 years later, Mahomes is even better than 2020 and somehow only the third most popular Chief behind Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. The Niners keep finding ways to come up short in the playoffs before this year, but at least continually embarrass the Dallas Cowboys. And the Hard Pass crew is apoplectic because there's a very good chance history repeats itself. Look, I might only have a surface level understanding of the game, but I do know that the Niners' run defense is terrible, Kenny. And it almost cost them against the Lions. I also know that the Chiefs have a running back in Isaiah Pacheco who doesn't mind running up the middle and smashing fools. As if Mahomes wasn't scary enough. Look, it's bang bang Niner gang all day, every day here. But I'd be lying if I said I'm confident about this game like I am a game against the Cowboys or Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. You already know that we're going to predict a Niner win. The first in my lifetime. It's the first in my... I wasn't born. Jeez. But it's going to be us sweating it for 4 quarters while we listen to everybody at the party complain that the commercials just aren't as good as they used to be. I mean, they might be right, but whatever. Anyway, it's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. Like this $50,000 made-to-order Pop-A-Shot machine by Reigning Champ. Why is it $50K, you might ask? Well, it's because the minimalist take on the classic arcade machine is a collaboration with Canadian designer Kaylin Knopf. The composite wood panels were engineered to look, feel, and sound like you're actually hooping on a real deal hardwood floor. Other features include stainless steel hardware, rubberized nylon wheels, powder-coated steel rim, and artisan hand-knotted cotton and silk nets locally sourced from Vancouver. Meanwhile, Co-Writer has an NBA Jam arcade one-up machine that I've been thirsting over since he bought one a few years back for $400. I'd like to buy one, but I can't figure out where to put it here in the studio. So, this week's actual Hard Pass goes to people hating on Vanessa Bryant because she showed off some PEs. With Valentine's Day approaching, Vanessa Bryant showed off a pink Nike Kobe 4 Protro and a Nike Kobe 8 Protro with the Valentine's theme. Beyond the pink and white color scheme, the Kobe 4 was interesting for its use of full tumbled leather upper and a leather stitch swoosh. Materials that were either rarely used or never been seen on previous Kobes. Meanwhile, the Kobe 8 Protro uses the familiar engineered mesh upper, but also includes hearts that are stitched onto the upper. Dubbed the Valentine's Day / wifey PEs by Vanessa herself, it should have just been a nice little treat for the sneaker community to see these exclusives. And I'm going to assume for most of the people who have seen these, they were a treat. And we could have just left it at that. But then the rest of the internet had to be a bunch of miserable, sad boys who found a way to complain about sneakers made for the widow of a basketball legend. A lot of getting ready to take an L on these comments, which, okay, they don't know that these aren't made for the public. That's fine, I guess. That's basically the default response on a sneaker post nowadays, even if it doesn't make any sense. Like, it could be a post about cleats that Odell Beckham wore and someone in the comments is going to say, "Can't wait to take an L on these." So, look, those were mostly harmless, ill-informed, but harmless when you compare it to some of the burning dumpster fire comments that were critiquing the shoes and Vanessa. I saw everything from people blaming Vanessa for them not being able to buy Kobe's to crying about seeing these even though they'll never get a chance to own them. But my pick for the wildest take were the Galaxy brains who thought these colorways were pushing some sort of feminine agenda. Like, someone wasn't paying attention to the girl dad story, or Kobe coaching Gigi, or mentoring Sabrina. If Kobe were still here and re-signed with Nike, this is the direction we were headed towards. Believe me, random person on the internet who felt the need to say something negative about these sneakers, no one gives a... Okay, that's not true. Some do care, but no one at Nike who can make decisions cares. And for the people coming to Vanessa's defense, I'm not saying you shouldn't get into the arguments about this, but my advice is don't waste your time on these absolutely ridiculous cluster of totally uncool jokers. Even we had second thoughts about doing this bit because we could be giving these clowns more time than they deserve. I mean, my deepest thought about these was that, wow, that's an interesting move that Nike used tumbled leather on the Kobe 4s because that opens the possibility for future Kobe 4 Protros to also use those materials on other colorways. Same goes for the Kobe 8 that uses what appears to be a flocked upper with a leopard pattern and the Kobe 6s in Dodger blue. If this is Vanessa's way of teasing future Kobes that will feature similar flourishes while she keeps her one-of-ones, I'm not mad at that. It wasn't that profound, of course, so I didn't feel the need to post or comment about it on any of the 100 of sneaker aggregator accounts on there. However, if I had a negative opinion about these sneakers, I'd keep it to myself. Don't get me wrong. There are times when we as a collective sneaker culture need to rain down upon a brand if they screw up royally. When sneakers does us wrong, we gotta keep the same energy until Nike fixes things. When Adidas gives us mediocre product, I prefer we didn't say Adidas is nothing without Kanye because that's just stans caping for someone who's no longer there, but we complain until they give us worthwhile stuff like the Adidas AE1, and so on and so on. What's the end game for someone whining about a sneaker that will never be available to anyone besides Vanessa Bryant, other than revealing themselves to be sad and miserable? Yeah, sad and miserable. Maybe that's it. They like revealing themselves to be sad and miserable. I don't know. Thanks for watching. That's going to do it for the show. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week, but not before we leave you with the viewer hard pass.
Yo, what up, Jock? This is Leon Morgan, your favorite future hard passer. IG at Leon Morgan Active. This hard pass goes to fan entitlement. No, sneakerheads. Nike and Jordan brand do not owe you retros and OG colors only. They don't have to cater to your nostalgia. No, comic book fans. Marvel and DC should not take your advice on casting or story arc. They appreciate all your love and support. Stand back, let them do the process because it's much bigger than you. And that's my hard pass. All the love, all the best.
Hey, if you would like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. I'm sure moving my hands a lot on this episode. Leave a short message, your socials if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see you next week. Peace. More hand movements. More hand movements.
What year were you born?
After 95. That's all after 95, right? You guys agree. Thank you. They said yes.